Andhra Pradesh Chief Minister Chandrababu Naidu today compared former Chief Minister Jagan Mohan Reddy to Colombian drug lord Pablo Escobar. While releasing a white paper in the assembly, Chandrababu Naidu said, "I'm the senior most politician in the country and I have never seen a situation like it was in Andhra when Jagan was in power. There was only one person who can compare to what happened in Andhra, and that's a drug lord Pablo Escobar." So, a controversial remark. This comes a day after Jagan Reddy had held a protest in Delhi at Jantar Mantar, where several opposition leaders had also joined him, saying that about the law and order situation in Andhra, and also claiming that many of his leaders were being targeted. Now, Chandrababu Naidu went on to elaborate on this comparison with Pablo Escobar, saying that Pablo Escobar, the Colombian drug lord, is a narco-terrorist. He turned politician and then started his cartel to sell drugs. He earned $30 billion at the time, which is worth $90 billion now. And he was one of the richest drug lords in the world. So, very controversial comment there coming from Chandrababu Naidu, comparing Jagan Reddy to Pablo Escobar. We're joined by Professor Jyotsna Tirunagari, a national spokesperson of the TDP. And ma'am, if you can elaborate on this, a controversial statement. You have Andhra Pradesh Chief Minister Chandrababu Naidu comparing the previous Chief Minister Jagan Reddy to a drug lord.
See, that's what we have seen in the past 5 years. Because the way he wasn't acting as the chief minister of the state, he was truly acting as a, as our leader has very rightly said, as something like a drug peddler, or I don't know. Because, for the past 5 years, Andhra Pradesh has become the drug hub of the entire country. Wherever drugs are caught, the entire source is Andhra Pradesh. And also today, we see a lot of, because once we have come back to power, we see a lot of issues with regard to the youth when we see that the youth are completely addicted to drugs and alcohol. And because during the time of Jagan Mohan Reddy, they were completely, I think I would say that they were very, very liberal in terms of drugs and their usage and the availability as well. So I think Chandrababu Naidu Garu was very... I think he said what was there. I know, but it's a sad reality. We have to accept that the ex-Chief Minister of Andhra Pradesh has done all these things. He has in fact spoiled the future of lakhs of youth of the state of Andhra Pradesh. He has in fact spoiled the health of the people of Andhra Pradesh, and he has in fact spoiled the image of Andhra Pradesh.
All right, we're also joined by Konda Rajiv Gandhi, spokesperson of the YSRCP. Your response, and Professor Jyotsna there, explaining why Chandrababu Naidu in the assembly referred to Jagan Reddy and compared him to drug lord Pablo Escobar.
Well, warm good evening to you and the TDP representative. I think they're still in dreams and expecting it is a time of election. No, it's a fact. Election is completed and there is an end point for the dramatic politics which is being played by TDP since last 2 months. I request them, you're in the power now and enough of the dramas. Okay, the drama which you played in last 2 months, believed by the people of AP, now it's over. The game is over. The political dramatic game which you have played all these 2 months is completed. It is an end and now you're in power, you have to rule. In spite of giving false statements, what is your action towards the reality? What is your action towards the reality? You're in the power. If such things had happened earlier in Andhra Pradesh, what the then Chief Minister or what the ex-Chief Minister or what the leader of opposition stated at that day? Why didn't you have quoted all these dialogues when you're in opposition? This type of brutal statements are coming from the current Chief Minister Chandrababu Naidu only to attack YS Jagan. Moreover, if you observe yesterday, we at Jantar Mantar, we have done our dharna and we brought the brutal, cruel politics, the murders or the attempt to murders or the atrocities which are being done by the people and the sympathizers of YSRCP and also on the leaders of YSRCP and activists of YSRCP. Now, the national media is being focused on that. If you observe, many national leaders attended our dharna yesterday only to divert this. Chandrababu Naidu is playing a brutal word game against YS Jagan sir. Nobody is ready to believe. There is a word which is being spoken by Professor Jyotsna ji saying that YS Jagan sir has spoiled the youth of Andhra Pradesh. What a pity. YS Jagan is the man who laid foundations for the bright future of Andhra Pradesh. From the kids to the youth, everybody know what he have done for the youth of Andhra Pradesh, and moreover, he is an inspirational to the youth.
Quickly get a response from Professor Jyotsna Tirunagari. If you can respond to that, what he's and hitting out at Chandrababu Naidu over this statement, comparing Jagan Reddy to Pablo Escobar.
You should understand that, Rajiv. You are also a young man of the state. You should understand what has gone wrong with the state. Kindly acknowledge that. The drama that you people have done yesterday at Jantar Mantar, the whole India has seen yesterday. And you talk about saving democracy. You talk about, the law and order situation in the state. During your regime, as I rightly quoted, your own MLC has murdered a Dalit, person and door delivered the body. Your own MP is involved in a murder case of his own uncle. What are you talking? And now you come back and say that. No. So, Rajiv, I think you should understand that let's work for the betterment of Andhra Pradesh. Enough is enough. You have done enough damage to the state.
Response to that,
do not again damage the image of the
there is a response from my
please.
end. Professor Jyotsna ji, your point is well taken. My thing is about, you're talking about an MLC or MP. The MP's case is being taken and handled by the CBI, which is the highest investigative authority of India, and everybody knows that without Chandrababu Naidu's support, the current NDA government cannot sustain further. So you are in a supreme power in India. We will wait and see your action up to 6 months. Do come on, prove it if your allegations are right. It is not the allegation politics is very simple, Jyotsna ji. We all should work for the better and empowerment of Andhra Pradesh, not for the political dialogues. If you observe, let us see how many murders were done all these days.
All right, we'll have to leave it there.
Which you say, Jyotsna ji, I'm not yet done. I have waited until your point is completed, and I request you the same also. You let us take the last 30 days of the criminal chart in Andhra Pradesh. How many murders? How many attempt to murder? How many attacks? We are talking about the MP who is involved in an uncle's murder case. You are alleging
all right, we are not discussing all these murder allegations. What we're talking about is Chandrababu Naidu's latest. I'm going to have to end it there. Thank you so much both for joining us on the program. But let's go across to Uma now. Uma, so a controversy after Andhra Chief Minister referring to Jagan Reddy as Pablo Escobar, comparing him to him, also talking about the availability of drugs in the state.
Yes, indeed. The fight between the Telugu Desam and the YSRCP, or rather the Telugu Desam Janasena and the YSRCP, is extremely bitter and very, very personal as well. If Jagan Mohan Reddy went to Delhi and tried to embarrass the TDP Janasena government in Andhra Pradesh by saying that huge numbers of political killings, revenge killings have happened, and he seemed to be able to get the optics of getting the support of some Indi alliance members as well, with leaders like Akhilesh Yadav, former UP Chief Minister, joining him there. In the Andhra Pradesh Assembly, what is playing out is the opposite. Chandrababu Naidu has showcased for the people of Andhra Pradesh the kind of cases that have been filed against the leaders of the Telugu Desam, and he in fact took a head count. He asked the leaders of his side, the ruling party side, to stand up to say how many of them have had cases booked against them in the YSRCP regime, and nearly 80 to 90% of the people in fact stood up, and he put out a list in fact that said some of them had 25 cases, 28 cases, and he himself and his son as well had 17 cases, and he said those people without any criminal cases against them in the past had been criminalized in that sense by these cases being put against them. And yes, the attack of the TDP Janasena, even when YSRCP was in power, was that drugs and liquor have taken a free run, and it is in that context that Chandrababu Naidu in fact took the example of the Columbian drug lord and seemed to make a comparison to the former Chief Minister of Andhra Pradesh, saying that while the drug lord had made a huge amount of money by selling drugs, the implication here is that Jagan Mohan Reddy and his government have also made money from not just drugs but also liquor policy. Let me just point out that yesterday in fact a white paper on liquor was released by Chandrababu Naidu in the the assembly, just like they have released on several other subjects. And liquor specifically, Chandrababu Naidu said, is in fact one of the biggest scams, and another one of the leaders of the Telugu Desam in fact said this is bigger than the Delhi liquor scam, in which we have seen several leaders from Delhi, Aam Aadmi Party as well as BRS being implicated. And now a CID probe has been ordered into the liquor scam and what he has called as a liquor scam, and he has pointed out multiple things, saying that more than 99,000 crore rupees of liquor was sold in Andhra Pradesh, and majority of it happened in cash transactions, except for about 615 crore, he says. The rest of it happened in cash transactions, and therefore Chandrababu Naidu is also talking about involving the enforcement directorate in that particular probe as well. He said the cash transactions will be looked into by the enforcement directorate as well, and he has also alleged that because all the other brands which are established brands across the country were not allowed, and distilleries and breweries in Andhra Pradesh used or developed homegrown brands which were then used to make the money, and his allegation is that a big amount of money has been siphoned off by the ruling party members, and he has put a figure of nearly 19,000 crore rupees that he says the state exchequer has lost. And that is in that context that he is pointing fingers at Jagan Mohan Reddy. The political battle that Jagan Mohan Reddy took to Delhi, Chandrababu Naidu is presenting before the people of Andhra Pradesh inside the Andhra Pradesh Assembly, where of course Jagan Mohan Reddy has no strength at all, only about 11 MLAs, and therefore he possibly sees it as a futile exercise to fight his battles there. Back to you.
Right, so Uma, it was interesting yesterday to see Jagan Reddy here in the capital protesting at Jantar Mantar. Several opposition leaders also going and meeting him over there. And today you have Chandrababu Naidu now hitting out, and that's what one of the leaders from Jagan Reddy's party was saying, that it's because he got the support from the opposition. Now Chandrababu Naidu is hitting out, calling him and comparing him to Pablo Escobar.
Yes, indeed. So there is a political battle that's obviously playing out, and if at some point we used to talk about Tamil Nadu, DMK, AIADMK having very bitter battles, I must say this looks much worse than that. The attacks are very, very personal and quite sharp. And yes, now today Chandrababu Naidu, the Chief Minister, referring to Pablo Escobar, the Colombian drug lord, and trying to draw parallels to the former Chief Minister. And he made a comment saying that there is something called need and something called greed and something else called mania, and he is saying that this is the category to which the former Chief Minister belonged. And he said that if there is a Reliance, a Tata and an Ambani making having so much of money, and he alleged that Jagan Mohan Reddy wanted to have more money than that, and that's the reason why he has indulged in these kind of alleged irregularities in liquor or in drug as well. Two things are clear. The battle in Delhi, as far as the BJP is concerned, the YSRCP and Jagan Mohan Reddy in fact have written to the Prime Minister and have also said that they are going to seek an audience with the Prime Minister on this. Politically speaking, for the BJP in Delhi, of course they require Chandrababu Naidu and Telugu Desam's MPs in the Lok Sabha, but in the Rajya Sabha, it is 11 MPs of the YSRCP that the BJP would certainly require because they don't have the strength in the Rajya Sabha as well. So it's a very delicate balancing act that the Prime Minister will also have to be seen to be doing, because he has to be seen to be listening to Jagan Mohan Reddy when he is complaining about alleged political violence against his party members, while at the same time not upsetting Mr Chandrababu Naidu, whose support of course is very critical for the NDA government in Delhi. So one is the political war, second is the the battles that are being fought in Andhra Pradesh on the ground, not just the violence that I'm talking about, but the allegations and counter allegations that are being traded between the two main political leaders and parties. Back to you.
All right, Uma, thanks so much for joining us with those latest developments and controversy now really with Chandrababu Naidu comparing Jagan Reddy to Pablo Escobar, saying that his party terrorized people in the state and the law and order situation in Andhra was extremely poor under him. So this is something that we're going to see more reactions coming up. With that, we'll slip into a short break, more on the other side.